the shot. He just had to find it. The roof wouldn't work this time. She had one of her bodyguards stationed up there. If he was going to get her, it would have to be away from the hotel. The problem Graham faced was time. She would be leaving soon, going back to her Bel Air estate. On her home turf, his big game hunting would be even tougher. Thus far, Rochelle hadn't gone stir-crazy. Rochelle. The world knew the pop star by the one name, had been on top of the music world for 5 years. For the recording business, that was almost an eternity. Everyone had thought Rochelle's Rio de Janeiro visit would be one long party. For the beautiful people, Copacabana is a high-octane 24-hour experience. But Rochelle hadn't gone out to shake it in the many nightclubs along Avenida Atlantica. The old Rochelle would have been painting the town red, shopping along Rua Santa Clara, taking in the view and being viewed in the Forte de Copacabana, being risque in the naughty nightlife strip called the Go-Go Copa, and going lip to lip at sunrise with a just-caught fish at Fisherman's Corner. Those were the kind of shots the world had come to expect from Rochelle. But then again, with Rochelle, you had to expect the unexpected. Rochelle had a habit of reinventing herself. She was a pop diva, not a flavor of the month. It wasn't only that Rochelle had great pipes, which she did, but her voice was complemented by the package and charisma that went with it. Carnival was a month away, but Rochelle usually created her own carnival wherever she went. This time, though, she seemed to be all business. Her long-awaited album was due out in 2 months, and she was finishing a last video for one of the soundtracks, a hot love song with lots of Latin flavor. The Rio beat was being showcased in the video. The Ipanema drag queens had come to a set and strutted their stuff to the pounding beat of samba drums, Rochelle dancing with them. And a couple of weeks earlier, Rochelle had sent her film team to shoot footage of Rio's famous New Year's celebration along Copacabana's Atlantic shore. Times Square had nothing on Copacabana. Every New Year's, more than 2 million people crowded together on Copacabana's beach to watch the huge fireworks display. Most of the spectators dressed in white, a local tradition for good luck. The pounding drums grew more intense as the midnight hour approached. Many of the celebrants indulged in piña, Brazil's version of moonshine. Others came for spiritual counsel. Holy women dressed in white cotton turbans set up shop on the beach, offering an ear and guidance to the many who waited in their long lines. At midnight, the crowds rushed to the water's edge, throwing in flowers and other offerings for Lemanja, a sea goddess worshipped in the Brazilian African religion of Umbanda. For one night at least, Lemanja had many followers. Rochelle's video was supposed to be a combination of Lemanja and Venus and Rochelle. She would emerge from the sea with a suit of long wet hair, perhaps a little imaginative seaweed, and nothing else. Graham looked at his watch. It was 11:45. He had a meeting with his local talent at noon at a nearby food kiosk on the Lido. Graham wasn't sure which his confederate preferred more, the food or the view. Carlos Riviera, called by friends and enemies Carlos the Jackal, knew whom to bribe and what questions to ask. Those were necessary talents for Graham's line of work. Carlos was 20 minutes late, but he didn't seem to be in any rush to make up for lost time. In Brazil, clock watching is not a popular pastime. He was wearing dark sunglasses that complemented a white linen suit that would have looked better on Colonel Sanders. Carlos wasn't wearing a Panama hat, probably because he was vain about his wavy black hair. He walked along as if he was hearing a samba beat. Maybe he did. Music always seemed to be playing somewhere. Carlos ordered for them. Graham liked listening to the back and forth of Brazilian Portuguese. It wasn't the same tongue as spoken in Portugal. It was samba Portuguese. On paper plates, Carlos brought over a Brazilian stew of black beans, pork, kale, and rice that he identified as feijoada. The two men did their chewing and drinking of beer and talking.